Okay. All right. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, so here's what we're working on right now. You've gotten so far as to have your black and white with your grid. You threw your grid down, did the sketch, got a few layers of watercolor in, and now it's time to get this to actually have the same tonality that this does. So this is where the trick comes in. Using only the primary colors, you're going to turn this into a fully toned piece of work. So how do we do that? Well, it's a transparent medium already down. Now we're putting another transparent medium on top of it. This transparent medium, however, I'm looking at my picture. You always have to keep an eye on your original. Okay. I'm going to have to use alternate colors in order to make this work out. This is a long and tedious process because what you don't want to do is rush it. You don't want to take and do that. Don't burnish your color, okay? Because once you get it too thick, there's no coming back. Will it have texture? Absolutely. The paper is textured. It's coquille paper. It's supposed to have texture. I would like to see some of your painting through it. So as I start to darken up this area, because I'm working on this section right here, I'm going to start adding layers and layers and layers. I used the blue on there first, now I'm bringing in the red because the red is going to bring back what I started with. Which is that red, and I just get a really, really dark red. I start to develop a maroon. Okay? The premise of the assignment is to really start developing your color palette by using just these three. With these three colors, you can do pretty much anything you'd like. You can combine them into all sorts of different colors. The challenge for this assignment is kind of twofold. The first is being able to create convincing tone that matches the black and white tone using nothing but the three primary colors. The other challenge is how do you go ahead and take and make the same tone go color to color? Because yeah, I can build it in the red pretty easy, but then I'm going to continue that tonality down here into my yellow. If I were to put blue on the yellow, what am I going to end up with?
Green.
Green. That's going to end up being really strong once I put the red in, because what happens when you put red and green together? Do you guys know? You end up with a brown. You can refine your edges, create great detail, make sure that you keep an eye on what your drawing is, what your original is, because you don't want to start doing what I tell you guys not to do all the time, which is draw what you see, not what you think you see. If you keep trying to draw what you think you see, what ends up happening is that you're only going to draw that picture that you snapped in your mind's eye instead of drawing what's actually there, and that's going to be a little bit wrong, and you're going to keep looking at it going, why isn't this turning out right? It's not turning out right because you're using your imagination instead. Now, I'm at a point where that's really dark. That's almost black. How am I going to get that in here? All right, well, I'm going to have to put that blue in. But notice that I put the red and the yellow in first. So I've got this orange base going down. It is going to end up slightly browned. But if I start with this afterwards, it's not going to be like I'm starting with green. I'm making that brown tone. By just adding in one layer of blue, I can get to an incredibly dark spot that's still remaining a really primarily yellow piece. Okay? It's difficult, it's time intensive, it's going to be layer after layer after layer after layer. However, the end product turns out really, really convincing and really beautiful as you go across the tones and you end up with lots and lots of interesting things compositionally for your viewer to look at. Remember, you're not drawing this picture as what's on this picture. You're just drawing the tones. All right? So onward, upward, have a blast.